Hello guys, in this tutorial we are going to learn how to create a PDF file in Springboot application. For that we are going to follow below given steps. So first step is to create Springboot app using Springboot initializer. So for that we have to go on this website. Let's go to there, refresh the page. Okay, so select the maven project, language as Java, and version is keep the default version, and change the name. Let's say I'm giving a com.pdf.example pdf demo, and packaging is jar, Java version is 8, and I will add one dependency here called spring web, because we have to create a one REST endpoint to test our project. Okay, click on generate, provide the location. Let's say I'm providing on desktop, in give a folder name as test pdf. Okay, or simple spring boot pdf 1. Create and save the project. Now show in folder, extract here. Now open the eclipse, go to desktop. My eclipse is on desktop, so okay. Now browse, so spring boot pdf 1, just click on it and say open and launch the eclipse. After that we have to import the spring boot app which we have just downloaded. Just close this welcome window, click on import project, go to maven, existing maven, next. Just click on browse and go to desktop. Inside this folder select this pdf demo, open and finish. So we have done with step 2 till now. Now we will test our application by running it. So let's go to pdf demo application.java. So as you can see, this main class is annotated with spring boot application. Let's run this, or debug, you can do anything as Java application. First time it will take some time because it is indexing files. So our application started and it is listening on port number 8080. So let's go there, and it is working fine. We are getting 404 because we don't have default REST endpoint. So let's go ahead and create a one REST endpoint. It's a class, give it REST, test REST, class name, click on finish. Let's annotate it with the REST controller, then request mapping. Let's say API slash, now create a one endpoint saying test app, and we are going to return one string saying app is working fine. So it is a get mapping. Okay, just save this, and we have to restart the application. Just go there and click on I think yeah, it's starting. Okay, so we have to say /API/ okay. So app is working fine, so our application is working as expected. So now go ahead and now add the below dependency to our app and save the POM file. Okay, so first of all we have to add this dependency called iTextPDF in our pom.xml. Just search for pom.xml and let's add this and save this. Then it will download the dependencies. Now we can close this file. Okay, now we have done with the fourth step, and now we have to create one entity called user. So let's go ahead and create one entity, class dot, let's say models, let's say user, finish, and just create some property. Let's say I'm creating integer ID, private string fname, private string lname. Just create the constructor, getter and setters, hash code and equal methods, and toString. So I'm just following basic convention or rule, you can say, to create an entity. So save it. So we have a simple user class with ID, fname, and lname. Okay, now create list of user entity so we can write it to a PDF file. Okay, so basically this user class is going to act as a source of data. So let's create a class called .pdf util package, and let's say PDF generator class. Okay, so just click on finish, and let's annotate this class as component. So in the sixth step we have to create the list of users. Okay, so let's say called private list of user, so get users. So we have to return list of users from here. Just import the user class, and let's create a list of users, array list. Okay, so let's create a, I will use here for loop, let's say int I should be less than 10, I plus plus. Okay, so I'm going to create here 10 users basically. So let's create a user object, user new user. Let's say ID is going to be I. So I would like to start with 1 here, and it should be less than 11. So let's say ID is I, f name. So f name 1, similarly L name I. Okay, so with this we will be able to create 10 users, and users dot add this user. Okay, and we can return users from here. So we have source of data ready. Now create a generic method in the step number 7 to get all fields of any type of entity. So we have user entity. So I'm going to create one method. Okay, so just import the package from reflect java.lang.reflect. Okay, so here we can pass any type of class, and this method is going to return all fields present in this class. In this case we have user class. Okay, so now create a column display name, that is store user friendly name, because if you see here inside user we have property name, and we can say it a column also, ID, f name, L name. But user friendly name means f name is not a user friendly name, so we should add column as first name for f name, for L name, last name. So we will be creating a map for that. Okay, so here let's create a display name. Okay, so private map of string get display name. Okay, just import the map from java.util.package, and it should return the map of type string. Okay, so let's get fields name. So we have user.class, so we are making the use of this method. Okay, so this is going to return us string array. You can say column names, columns name. Okay, and we have to just throw some exception. Okay, this is fine, and this is a static method, so we can call it directly using. Okay, so we have this columns name. Now we have column name, so we will be iterate over this, and we will be creating a map. Okay, so let's create a map here. Type string, so display column name display map. Okay, new hash map. Okay, so what we can do here, or simply we can put instead of using for loop dot put, because this is static fields ID, I would say id dot put fname. So first name put for lname. For lname we should put last name and return this map from here. So just save this. And so till now we have ready source of data. You can get columns name using this get field name, and we can also get display name for particular user property. Okay, so now in the next step, now we can go ahead and create a PDF file. Okay, so for that, first of all we have to create a document object. So let's create a public void saying generate a PDF file. Okay, so first of all we have to create a document object, and make sure we have to take from import the package of com.itextpdf. Okay, so document, new document. Now create a output stream to write data to a file. So we can use this file output stream. Just import the package from java.io. So it will throw under file not found exception. Okay, so now here we have a PDF writer class having which contains a get instance method, and it take two arguments. First is document object, and second is file output stream, any output stream you can say. So the document is what? The document is that has to be written, and the file output stream the writer has to write to. Okay, so we have to call this get instance by passing document object and file output stream. So basically it will create a PDF document, empty document, if this file is not present in our project root directory, where the pom.help.md.mv is present. In the same place this file is going to be generated if it is not there. Okay, so go ahead, and after creating the document object, we have created this document object. We are calling get instance method of the PDF writer class by passing document object and file output stream object, which will create a PDF file. If the mentioned PDF file does not exist, then it will create a PDF file, right? So now go ahead. Now at this moment we have empty document. If we execute our program, we will have the empty PDF document over here. So let's go ahead. Now open the document. Because we have document ready, now we have to write something in it. Okay, so we have to open that document. Okay, so let's open the document. Now the document is open, so we can add some title in it. Let's add title. Let's say users information. After adding the title, we can add heading of file, basically a paragraph. So for that we have to use this piece of code. Let's import the things from itext PDF. Or you can use itext. Okay, font, let's make it a star. Okay, so everything is imported here. So what we are doing here, we have a font factory class which contains get font method, and which take two or three or any number of argument, depending on, there are several method which take different types of argument. So here we are passing the font family, we are passing the font size and the base color. So we have font object ready here. And we have this paragraph that has to be that need to be written in our document. Okay, and so we are creating this paragraph by passing the value to be written, and the font of what should be the font of this text. Now we are providing the alignment to this text, so we want it to be in a center, and finally we are adding this paragraph to our document. So after that, let's say we might want to add a new line after adding this paragraph. Okay, so let's add this. Now in the next step, get all columns. Okay, so here we have this method called get fields name, so we can make use of that. Let's create a column name, let's say column names. Okay, this is fine. Get field names user.class. Okay, because you want to store the user data to a PDF file. Okay, just throws the some instantiation exception, illegal access exception. Okay, after that, okay, now create a user friendly column name map, which we have already created. Now create a PDF table. Okay, so yeah, this is step. So we have PDF table class. So PDF table class take number of columns as parameter here. So we have this col names dot length. So this much of column will be added to a PDF table, and we can set the width percentage of this table by calling set width percentage method of PDF table class. Okay, so now we have our document ready with the title and header. Okay, so let's add a header column to the table. So we can use this piece of code here. Let's use a normal for loop. Column name, column names, just import the PDF cell. Okay, so PDF cell class basically it is used to add the cell to a table. So it had some style similar to this paragraph. We have font object. Okay, so similarly we can provide font family, font size, and whatever styling you want. Okay, so we have this PDF class, PDF cell class, and this is the header font basically. So what should be the font of our header cell? What would be the color of our header row? So this is which is going to be decided by this header front instance variable. Okay, so we have a header cell object ready. We can set the phrase. So phrase basically set phrase, take the phrase object with value to store. So value should be our column name. So basically get display name, we have dot get object and column name. Okay, so we have to pass this column name key. Let's say if it is id, then it is going to return a capital ID and everything. I think with this line is not required here. Okay, so basically we are adding a header row to our table with 3 columns over here. So let's go ahead. We have added a header table. Now it's time to add data to a table. So similarly we have added header row. Similarly we can add the data row as well to those columns. So let's go ahead and add some data to a table. So basically this users is the source of data. Okay, so list of user, and let's say get users. We have created this method to get the users data. Okay, yeah, so we are adding the data to a table, PDF table. So value to store here. So what value we are trying to store here? First will be our ID. So user dot get ID, and it take string, so we have to convert it to string. So similarly we can add data to other cell, and this is IDD. Let's get f name, get l name. Okay, so our data rows font is going to be the same, right? So we are using the same font to add the data. So our table data font is going to be the same for each cell. So here we have added the data to a cell of table successfully. Let's go ahead. So now we have added data to a table. So now add this table to a document. We have table ready, but we have to add this table to this document and close the document. And we are done. Okay, let's save this project and let's try to run this from before running the application. We have to auto wire, say PDF generator class. So PDF gen, that's why we have annotated it with @component. So we are telling the Spring to instantiate this PDF generator class. Okay, so we can make the use of this PDF runtime. So let's generate PDF. Let's throw the exceptions and let's save this and restart the application. So before restarting, I would like to, let's terminate. I would like to put some breakpoint here and start it in a debug mode. So we will be going through each of each steps. Okay, so now let's hit this rest endpoint. Okay, so we are here. Let's switch to debug UI. Okay. So first of all, we are creating the document object. Now we are creating the file output stream, like where the data has to be written. Now we are calling the get instance method of PDF writer class, which is taking a document object and file output stream as an argument. So it will create a new PDF file if not exist. So let's go ahead. After executing this line, we should have this file name, this file in our project root directory. So let's go there and just refresh the project. As you can see, we have this file name. Let's open it. So at this moment we don't have anything in it because it is empty. Let's close this and go to again eclipse. Okay, so now we are opening the document. We are adding the title and using the get font method of font factory, we are getting the instance of font, and which is being used in a paragraph constructor to create the paragraph instance, and we can add this paragraph to our document. Okay, so just go ahead. We are setting the alignment and we have added this paragraph, and this line will create just a new line, nothing else. Now we are getting the column names ID, F name and L name. Now we are creating the PDF table with specified column size. Then we are setting the width of table in percentage. Now we are adding the header row of the table by iterating over the columns and by making the use of this get display name map. F name. Okay, so it will create 3 columns. Okay, so now we are creating another PDF cell, or you can put this PDF data cell inside for loop, or if you want to keep it outside, you can keep it outside, because internally this add cell method, if you see, it is always creating a new object. It is not directly assigning the reference, so we can keep it outside the for loop. Just go ahead and add the data to a cell with a specified font. Okay, so we have total 10. Let's go ahead, 10 users. Now we have a PDF table ready with 10 users. Okay, now let's go ahead and execute the next line. So we should have 10 rows inside our PDF document. Let's go ahead and open it. Okay, so as you can see here, the title of this PDF document is user information. Then we have added this paragraph, then we have added this new line, then we have added this header column, header row with 3 column, and we have added the data to each row of this table with the specified font. Hope it was helpful. If it was, then don't forget to like the video, subscribe the channel, and don't forget to share this video. Thank you so much.